So what other things can you think of that affects our mental health? You know, as women, we are so busy taking care of everybody else, right? And we have so many things on our plate. There are so many other things besides our hormones that can affect our mental health. And a big thing is stress. You know, we wear so many hats as women. So stress is a big thing, and there's so many different stressors that we can encounter. You know, as we're getting older, our body image may change because we gain some weight, and that affects our self-esteem. That puts stress on us. That affects our mood. Our personal or family medical problems, so we're stressed about that. Divorce or losing your significant other. That's, you know, can be very stressful. It can cause you, I mentioned depression due to a reactionary event. So that can potentially kind of put you in that category. If you're caring for your young children, like myself, I have 3 kids, that can be stressful. Teenagers, mine are not teenagers yet, but teenagers can be very frustrating and, you know, distressing. Or you have grown children who've left the nest and they've come back. And they brought people with them, their husband or their children. That can be stressful. Or you're concerned about your aging parents, and that you can get into the sandwich generation where you're actually taking care of your children and your parents. That can be a lot of stress, which can ultimately affect your mood. And then, you know, a lot of times women, especially in our midlife years, are making major career moves or, you know, career changes, and that can also be very stressful. Or our relationship in general with our partners, you know, whether, you know, you're going through problems in the marriage or, you know, either a divorce or separation. All those things are major stressors that can affect our mood and ultimately how we react and respond to the hormonal changes that leads us to the menopausal transition. I mentioned depression. Our sexual appetites can change as we get older, and, you know, a decreased libido, you know, our sexual health is very important and very influential on our emotional and mental physical well-being. So if we have a decreased libido, that can be very distressing if we're used to, you know, being a sexual person, and then that kind of goes to the wayside, and that affects you and affects your relationship. So that can also be, you know, again, another stressor on your mental health. And then aging in general, you know, as we age, it's very normal for us to have some mild memory loss, and that's just with aging, and that's just, you know, something that happens. And sleep deprivation, that's a big one. Sleep deprivation definitely can affect our mood. It can make us very irritable. It can also affect our cognition or our brain function. If we're not getting enough sleep, you know, you can't be surprised when you're not able to concentrate the very next day because of that lack of sleep. And then vitamin deficiencies, particularly vitamin B6 and B12 can essentially have some influence on your mental health. So be aware of that too.